Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So, after Canelo Alvarez beat Jermell Charlo, it wasn't really clear if Terence Crawford was still interested in moving up in weight to fight Canelo Alvarez. But more recently, he just came out with a tweet that basically shows Canelo Alvarez contradicting himself, saying that he would be willing to come down in weight to fight Errol Spence at 160. When we know that Canelo Alvarez, he said he would never fight Crawford at 160. Crawford would have to come all the way up to 168. This is what Canelo Alvarez said way before Errol Spence lost to Terence Crawford.
Last week and even prior, and he's serious about wanting a fight with you, and he feels Canelo versus Spence, 120,000 people in AT&T Stadium. Is that a fight that you're interested in, that you want to pursue, and do you think that can happen?
No, pues obviamente es una pelea interesante. Errol Spence es un gran peleador. Obviamente si quiere subir de peso, pues ¿por qué no? Se podría hacer esa pelea. Si se siente muy seguro de eso, pues podría pasar. Es una pelea grande.
Well, obviously it's a very interesting fight. If Errol Spence is a great fighter, and obviously if he wants to go up in weight, then that would be a big fight.
So it couldn't happen at 160. You can't. That's not a fight that you think would be big enough for you to be able to move down to 160. It would have to be at 168.
No, en peso medio todavía podemos hacerlo y claro que sí, podríamos pelear en la 160.
Middleweight, yeah, that's something that we can still do. So yes, we could go down to 160.
You know what's really interesting about that clip right there is the guy that's asking the question, he's already assuming that Canelo Alvarez is going to say, there's no way I can come down to 160. Canelo surprises the reporter by saying, oh no, I actually can go down to 160 and fight Errol Spence. He talks about how it's such a big fight. It's actually amazing when you look at the dichotomy of how Canelo Alvarez responded to the idea of fighting Terence Crawford as opposed to fighting Errol Spence. Two fighters that both fight at 147 that were planning on moving up in weight to fight against Canelo Alvarez. When it came to Errol Spence, once again, Canelo, he talked about how that's such a big fight. He would be willing to come down to 160. But when it came to Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, he said he wouldn't get the credit because he's too small. But remember, Errol Spence is the exact same size. See, Canelo Alvarez would have actually had a good point if he had always said this whenever welterweights or small fighters called him out. But the problem is Canelo has been fighting much smaller opponents his entire career. And when I say his entire career, I mean that literally. I mean, you go back to his very first title shot, it was against Matthew Hatton, a fighter that was fighting at 147. Not only was he not ranked at 154 in the top 10, he wasn't even ranked in the top 10 in the welterweight division. And miraculously, he gets awarded a title shot at 154 against Canelo Alvarez. Matter of fact, before I keep talking, I got to go ahead and put up Terence Crawford's tweet. So this was Terence Crawford reacting to this interview. Crawford, he asked the question, what's your thoughts on Canelo saying he can make the fight with Spence at 160, but for me, he say, I can't make the weight. Wouldn't make a difference, just the thought. There's no doubt about it, Terence Crawford, he has a good point. Now, Canelo Alvarez, he did say in later interviews that he would fight Errol Spence at 168. But the fact that he's already on record saying that he would fight Errol Spence at 160 and it's a really big fight is a contradiction. Because never in that interview did Canelo Alvarez say that he won't get the credit if he were to beat a much smaller Errol Spence. He didn't say that when he fought Matthew Hatton. He didn't say that when he fought Amir Khan, when he fought Josito Lopez, and when he fought Jermell Charlo. Clearly, Canelo Alvarez has a lot more respect for Terence Crawford's skills than he had for Errol Spence's skills. Canelo has always said that he thought that Terence Crawford would beat Errol Spence, so he clearly understands the different levels in this game. You know, it's pretty interesting because after the way Jermell Charlo performed, Canelo isn't getting a whole lot of credit for his win over Jermell because you could clearly see this was a simple case of a much bigger fighter in there with a much smaller fighter that could have easily been 10 to 20 pounds smaller than Canelo the night of the fight. You know, a lot of times I'll see Canelo Alvarez fans in my comment section trying to defend Canelo Alvarez's win over Jermell Charlo by saying that Jermell, he was so much taller and he had so much of a reach, as if that's the same thing as a size advantage, right? But if you use that logic, then you would have to look at Canelo Alvarez's height and reach, and you would have to say, well, if Canelo is only 5'8", 5'7.5", he should easily be able to make 160. Hell, he should be able to make 154, just based off of the logic that Canelo Alvarez fans are using when it comes to height. There's a reason why short fighters like Roberto Duran and Ricky Hatton, they would walk around at 200 pounds plus and come all the way down in weight to 147 or 140. And this is the reason why Canelo Alvarez revealed that he could actually come down to 160 and fight Errol Spence. But Canelo, he started to say to himself, well, I'm allowing this to be too fair of a fight. Why would I allow the fight to be that fair when I could have him come all the way up to 168 and have a massive size advantage over him? Which is why Canelo Alvarez changed his tune and decided the fight should be at 168. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. Eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, the fever blisters, diabetic ulcers. And this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Errol Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to errol.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.
An important message from Youth Fountain Laboratory, makers of VasoFlux and VasoFlux for Men. If you're over the age of 35 and over the years you've eaten pizza, dairy foods, deli meats, or meats with fat, you are likely to have some degree of plaque buildup in your veins and arteries. This increases your risk of suffering a stroke or heart attack exponentially, and no one wants such a catastrophic event to occur. Introducing Plaque-Out. Plaque-Out is made of all natural ingredients proven to help dissolve clots in the blood, remove calcium deposits and plaque from the walls of veins and arteries, improve viscosity of the blood, improve elasticity of the veins and arteries, treat varicose veins, and prevent the reoccurrence of plaque buildup. For more information, visit Youth Fountain Laboratory at youthfountainlab.com or call 1-800-853-7856. And remember, to help unclog veins and arteries, get the Plaque-Out.